Hey there, everyone. This is Jeffrey with Killaskila Gaming, and welcome back to Silent Hill F. It's been about 2.5 weeks since I've recorded anything, and the last time I played this was over a month ago because I finished recording the first playthrough in September, like right before the month turned over, and it's now November 7th as I start New Game Plus here, which is what we're doing. So, let's just get to it, and I'll explain things as we move along. All right. So, I have a list of things here to talk about. First of all, I've done some research since I finished playing the game, and I have watched 3 full playthroughs of the game, along with 3 partial playthroughs so far. And I one of the creators I was watching did a New Game Plus playthrough, but I didn't watch that because I didn't want to have anything spoiled. And it's kind of unfortunate. It seems like that's a common trend now with this game. Apparently you have to play New Game Plus potentially several times in order to actually get the full effect of the game. And so I'm really glad that at least one of them was doing that, because I feel like a lot of creators are going to play this once and just move on and miss out, because reaction videos aren't gonna cut it with this one, as far as what I've heard. And what we are gonna do with this playthrough is we're gonna go for the second of 5 endings, because we already have the first. We are going to go for collectibles, which I'm gonna say I'm a bit nervous about, and I'll explain why as we get into the game. And then we are also gonna go for any miscellaneous trophies that we have missed along the way. Before we get into it though, the endings. So I did not realize this was a thing, but if you go down to view endings, of course we looked at the, it shows us the first ending. It shows us that there are 5 endings, but if you go down to ending 2 or 3, it actually tells you how to get the other endings. So you probably could have guessed one thing that was going to change everything, which is the red and white capsules. Obviously we do not want to take those. That's what got us the first ending to begin with. And the other components of this have to do with the sword. There's a sword in the game called the Sacred Sword, and I think we went to the location where you're supposed to find it, but you can't get it in the first playthrough. And so that's going to be the next part of it. The other thing, we're going to go for ending 2 with this one. The other thing is this, the bottom thing it's listing here. Now, I did say in my criticism of the game, 2 of them cannot be fixed. It's just part of the game, but one of them was how this connects to the other games. And apparently there are some connections that I missed, and in fact I saw them in the first playthrough when I was watching Gab Smolder's play, because she's the one who did the New Game Plus playthrough, and she's the only one I think I've watched so far that actually has background in Silent Hill like I do. In fact, I think hers is probably even better than mine, because she's done a full series playthroughs of everything, and she's done a lot of replays and stuff too. So kudos to her, and definitely check out her playthrough if you have not at this point. Now, if you go down to ending 3, I think it's just ending 3, you actually have to play to get the second or third ending before you get this, which means you have to at least play the game 3 times in order to get the full effect of this. And I'm probably gonna do it once per every ending at least, and then consider difficulty aspects of this. So buckle up, because we're gonna be here for a while. Anyways, we got Coming Home to Roost, and we are going for the second one. I think I know the title of it, but I don't want to say anything for the sake of spoilers. But these are the 3 things that we are going to be trying to do throughout this playthrough. We are not going to take the red and white capsules. We're going to look for the Sacred Sword and purify it, because you need to make sure it's purified or that you didn't get it at all. And it sounds like it might be worth getting just in general. And then there's this thing at the bottom called the Agura no Hotai-sama, which we need to get, and I think I know what that is. I tried avoiding spoilers, but it's kind of hard when you're doing research, right? So anyways, those are what we're looking for as far as the ending goes. And I think I know what to do. I have notes that I took. I have I think 18 pages of notes that I've taken. And I'm a little nervous because there's some switches between New Game and New Game Plus that I'm hoping we can work out. The other thing I wanted to mention is that we're not just going to go for ending 2, we are also going for any collectibles and miscellaneous trophies that we have missed, which means that we are going to be on the lookout for documents, which is the tedious part that I will discuss a little bit more later. We're going to collect all the Emma that we've missed or tried to. We're going to look for all the Amamori, which are the, the collectibles that help, not collectibles, but they're like the equipment that helps us change how the game plays out for us. And then, I missed one, I think, inventory item and anything related to leveling. We're going to try and find everything as much as we can. So, let's get to it. Okay, first, I think what we want to do is load and go for my New Game Plus, which is actually my first save on here because the others are all auto saves. And I think we just want to load this up and it should give us the options for what we want to do. Yeah, okay, so New Game Plus. So action difficulty stacks. So if we wanted to, let's say go to Lost in the Fog, we could do that, but I've heard it's rather difficult, and since hard stacks with that, I'm probably going to do that as a separate playthrough once I'm done with everything. So we're going to stick to story on that. Puzzles do not stack, unfortunately. So there's story, hard, and Lost in the Fog. And I think what I'm going to do is try Lost in the Fog, and I do have puzzle solutions because some of the miscellaneous trophies have to do with completing the puzzles and not failing at them, and those actually have some potential for helping us not have to deal with enemies as much. So I'm going to try these on my own, and then we'll just reload, and I have solutions if I can't figure it out or if I need to reload for whatever reason. So we're going to go for Lost in the Fog on the puzzle difficulty. Now, again, this doesn't stack, so we're actually going to have to do the story level of puzzles, but we'll do those in a third playthrough or something like that. So these are the settings. Action is story, the same as before. We want to make this as easy as possible. As far as combat, which was my biggest complaint about this game, and puzzles, Lost in the Fog, because hey, I like puzzles and I like difficult puzzles. So let's go. Because this is New Game Plus, we're going to go with the pink rabbit. Why the rabbit ears? You think they would do fox ears, right?
ねえねえ、知ってる？女の人はお嫁さんになるのが仕事なんだって。
仕事じゃないよ。ひな子はお嫁さんになりたくないの？
でもお父さんに言われるとなりたくなくなる。
宿題と同じだね。
やれって言われるとやる気なくす。
お待たせ。
お姉ちゃん。
何かいいことでもあった？
昔を思い出してた。お姉ちゃんって小さい頃からずっとお姉ちゃんだったんだなって。
ひな子、私ね。
これお姉ちゃんにあげる。
綺麗だわ。ありがとう。
とにかく今後のことは親の方で話を進める。
お父さん、ひな子の気持ちだって。
こんな話二度とないんだぞ。ひな子にとってこれ以上の幸せがあるか。あるわけがない。どこ行く。話はまだ終わってないぞ、ひな子。
それにしてもあのひな子がね。
あいつは本当に高校娘だ。何しろおかげで借金は全て返せる。二度と金に困らずに済むぞ。
お父さん、やめてくださいよ。ひな子に聞こえますよ。
あってたまるか、そんなこと。
Okay, so I was noticing that she was still wearing the brooch from the first playthrough, which I knew she was going to do that, but that's what I was motioning to. I think a good bit of that scene and the introduction were different, and I had heard about that already, so I knew that was coming. I kind of want to do a side-by-side comparison of these. I'm kind of interested. I was also debating whether to switch the language to English or not, but I kind of want to stick to Japanese since I'm familiar with it now, to see if I'm noticing differences in I don't know, the way they're talking. But let's get into this. So, I do have a list. Oh, cool. This is really cool. I do have a list of things that we need to keep on the lookout for. Right, an intimidating monster that appears in Shiramuku, a traditional white wedding kimono. It uses their grand fox arm to compel others to obey. It looks down on me and denies my existence, but at the same time it pities me like it thinks it's better than me or something. Don't look down on me, you're no better. Of course, that's herself. Yeah, the brooch. Okay, apparently I didn't even read this. Or maybe I just, because this is tutorial stuff. A very old but valuable piece of jewelry decorated with a delicate fox. With the brooch, you are now able to open doors and boxes bearing the same design. This is something that we needed for New Game Plus. And I think the reason the cutscenes and the dialogue are different is because now we know the full context of what's going on. So there were a few things that I definitely missed out on in the first playthrough, because I think I was paying less attention to, for starters, the imagery. Some of it escaped me because, like I said, I just didn't realize it was wedding imagery. But also there were a couple of things that I noticed, like one saying that her father's debts were considered paid. And some people were even pointing out in their playthroughs that he basically sold her off to be wedded so he could pay off his debts. And I didn't pick up on that. And it even says it like right in the document, so it was something that I was just overlooking. But there was another thing, there were a few other things I think that popped up that I didn't realize were even related to her, so. But now it's actually throwing it right in your face. And I kind of like that. So one of my friends was commenting on my final video. Shout out to Kale if you're watching this, Kale. And they were saying something about having a love-hate relationship with this system, this New Game Plus system. Because on one hand, it gives you incentive to replay the game, which anybody that's a diehard Silent Hill fan probably was going to do anyway. And on the flip side, the hate part, because it's going to leave a lot of content creators just not seeing the full effect of the game, unfortunately. So, you know, I'm gonna do everything I can. I like the game. I liked it enough that I want to see more. So we are looking for one of our first new things almost right away, and I have a list here that I'm going to be referring to as we go. Supposedly there's a house we can go into, and it's going to start us off on the Sacred Sword journey. And there is another thing I want to be on the lookout for, some imagery from, I want to say Silent Hill Homecoming that I was missing. If it's not that, it's from like the original Silent Hill, but it has to do with the kind of origins of the cult, I think. So So that was a legitimate thing, I do believe, now that I've done my homework a little bit more. So Fox marked stuff we should have access to. Now I just don't know where that's going to be. This might be it. Local doctor's note. A fox wedding. Yeah, okay, this is it. A fox's wedding is a common expression used for times when it rains while the sun is still shining. I did not know that. That's really cool. According to the older folk here, and I know how to pronounce it now. I got it partially correct. I was saying Ebisugaoka. It's Ebisugaoka. So ga in the name. So according to the older folk here in Ebisugaoka, however, they also used this expression for when a young girl was spirited away. Interesting. I know I've heard that phrasing before, but I don't know what that means. Spirited away. That's an interesting term of phrase. I might need to look that up. Folklore pertaining to the gods and spirits becoming infatuated with human women is not something unique to Japan and can be found across the world. Ebisugaoka is no exception to this. Even here, there are the old tales of young girls being taken away on a fox's wedding and disappearing forever. Huh, interesting. I'm going to be doing some deep dive thoughts on this one, I think, now that I kind of have a bit of an idea of what's going on. During the Meiji and Taisho periods, I don't know if I'm saying that first one right. Meiji? I don't know. The town elders would apparently reassure the families of missing daughters that they had been swept away by a fox lord and are now enjoying a life of luxury without care. Take me. I don't mind being taken away by some, never mind. Inari-sama statues act as memorials for old or broken tools. It's okay to take these tools for your own as long as you have a use for them. This is called kishu, and it's an action that's considered virtuous. It's a teaching of Inari-sama to make the most out of tools in that way. This might have been something we could have got earlier on, actually. Because I remember, I think I was watching Liz with the Double Z play, and she had commented on how that's such a cool way to look at things. Because we live in societies that are just throw things away, and how unfortunate is that in a world that does not have infinite supplies and whatnot. All right, first save. So we're going to go down the list. So I'm going to keep my clear game until we finish this. And I'll probably do the clear game over that. So this is going way back to where we ended. Say goodbye, saves. Okay. You can draw all these apparently. There's actually a trophy for that and for getting all of the ones in the game. So there are some that I missed though. Nothing I can do here. We're sticking with the bunny. So I'm going to be referring to my notes off and on. So if I'm looking off to the side, you know what I'm doing. So this is the part that I was going to say has me a little bit worried. So, and at the same time, someone has kind of reassured me on this without realizing it. But apparently the documents for some documents change between or among New Game Plus, and New Game 2 Plus. And so you have to play the game 3 times through to get all the documents. And there are trophies for some of those. And in most of the New Game stuff, it was specifically referring to documents like, for instance, Sakuko's journal, which I think I had one of 3 documents from the first playthrough. And when you go into New Game Plus, apparently it supposedly changes some of those documents. And you have to go through a 4th playthrough now to get those back again, is what I was being told, essentially, or what I was reading. And then I noticed that some of the documents I picked up, like Renko's journal, were not showing up in those document collections. And some people were saying that they actually had Sakuko's journal show up even in New Game Plus with the new ones as well. And so I'm going to hope for the best that we can still get those and I don't have to play it a 4th time, even though I'm probably going to do it anyway. Just because I know those can be kind of tedious to find. And the documents are not marked as separate, which shame on you developers for that. Mark those as give us some indication as to what we have if you want us to collect them all, please. Even if you just mark it as like a 1, 2, 3 or something like that, I don't really care. Unfortunately, like I said, some of them said you can't get them in different playthroughs, and on the bright side, some people said you can, and they don't know where they're getting that from. And so hopefully we'll run into those as we go. But those were one of the big ones that I missed out on. Because like, I think I only have one, and I was like, I can't tell which one it is. Like, 'cause it's not numbered, but whatever. So I will do my best to edit out any long pauses that I take while I'm looking at documents, or while I'm looking for what we're looking for, essentially. So we're looking for a house that we can access. We got another fork in the road here. Can I get anything in the field? That was creepy. I bet that's the house. Oh, it's actually trying to draw our attention. Okay, research notes on exotic herbology. I think we read this already, did we? Although the most famous actually, we probably wouldn't pick it up, would we? Although the most famous translated Western medical book remains the New Text on Anatomy, there was a peculiar work by the name of Exotic Herbology, published in the 5th year of Ane? Of the Ane era, of 1776 AD. Strange as the text was, it has largely been forgotten by history. A foreign missionary brought this text to Japan, along with a curious medicine that would supposedly allow one to speak with divine spirits. This drug came to be known as the Kakura Makakura by locals. And there's the flower. That was the item I was looking for that I missed, I think. Or maybe I didn't miss it. Maybe I did actually see it and I just didn't remember what it was. However, in order to have contact with the gods, one must first liberate one's soul. However, I don't like the way they're using that. However, upon doing so, the individual will fall into a temporary state of unconsciousness, potentially leaving them vulnerable to malevolent spirits. Sound familiar? Okay. One of my that laughter is really creepy. Can you guys hear that? I hope that's not in my room. I mean, that would be really terrifying. Okay, Shu, I think, was the herbology person, if I'm not mistaken, since his family was the pharmacy crew, right? They were kind of like the local medicine people. But, oh, it's open. So, there is some stuff in this game that I found out very likely links us to the Silent Hill franchise, thankfully, and I think that flower might be the indicator. If you know, you know, and if you don't, we'll figure it out together, because I don't know as much as I feel like I should after years of playing Silent Hill. I think the first Silent Hill was released in 1999, and I probably played my first time in, I want to say, 2004 or 2005. So I didn't get to it until I was in high school, but I binged through all the Silent Hills at that point. It's wide open. Yeah, this is not supposed to be open in the first playthrough. And this is going to be our link to the sword. Research Journal Photo 1. And I think there are 5 of these that we have to get. And they're going to kind of give us hints as to what we're looking for towards getting the sacred sword, essentially. A photo attached to a research journal. It appears to be a clue collected by a researcher investigating the folklore of Ebisugaoka. Legend. Here we go. Regarding the legend of the sacred sword. And I think there was a document in the main playthrough that we saw relating to this. That or I saw somebody else get it. But I think I was pretty thorough with most of the stuff I was doing. At least when I was in like initially just exploring areas. When I was in the Dark Shrine, I was kind of rushing myself sometimes. I'll admit that. However, it is said that the sword's animosity continued to grow even as it remained buried under the earth. So the people erected a sacred barrier around it using Jizo statues as anchors. If one wished to find the sword, they should start by looking for these Jizo statues first. And I think we have to give them offerings. I think is how that works. It appears that the barrier works by creating a spiritual harmony that inhibits the sword's animosity. Harmony? Yin and Yang, the 5 elements of Wuxing. I don't know what that means. During this period, it was thought that everything was composed of 5 elements. Wood, fire, earth, metal, and water. And thank you, White Dave, for teaching me about this. This is getting into the feng shui stuff. Therefore, 5 was a number associated with harmony. In other words, there should be 5 Jizo statues. Are 5 such statues located in this town? I expect tracking them down will prove a tremendous task, and it would if I didn't already have a guide for that.
地蔵様
Oh, Jizo-sama, huh?
少し探してみるか
Sacred sword. Okay. Oh, it's a puzzle. That's why I was probably missing puzzles, because I think the puzzles reset. Especially with difficulty, of course, but it is said that the Ebisugaoka was a hidden village that once served as a refuge for defeated soldiers of the Taira clan? Taira clan? Taira clan? Unfortunately, evidence... But please feel free to drop it in the comments if you know these terms and know I'm saying them wrong, because I would love to know how to pronounce them properly. Unfortunately, evidence to support this tale has yet to be found. Still, Ebisugaoka shares many cultural similarities with those of other hidden villages, and it is my belief that this tale is true. According to other local legends, the soldiers who fled here vowed to exact revenge upon the Minamoto clan and restore the Taira clan to its former glory. Upon swearing this oath, they buried the sword of their deceased leader at the base of the great tree that serves to protect this land. It'd be a historical breakthrough if we could find that sword, and I think that's the tree we found up in the mountains. Okay, anything else that popped up? No. Okay, so I think there's items we need to find. What out of here? I need a key. Okay, yeah. Okay, let's try the door first. Okay, I need a key for that. Alright, and then since we're not playing on any hard difficulty mode, I might sacrifice most of my items like I did last time. There were some items that were actually pretty good because I was watching other people use them. But like I said, I didn't really feel like I needed a lot of them. Okay, is this going to be one of those I find one key that unlocks a chest to get another key kind of moments? Or do I have to choose one? I got the notes, I should look at them. You know, it wouldn't kill to give us a flashlight. Or do I have to come back here later, maybe? Just don't throw enemies at me. Isn't that a clue? He always told me, play house like a good girl should. Balcony key, okay. A key stored on the doll's back. It seems to open the door to the next room from the balcony. Okay. This is from Sakuko, but it's too cute for me. What is this place, then? A woman's magazine. My father isn't fond of seeing these around. Okay, I think we want to go through here first. We should get a key and an inventory item, I think. What was that? Okay. I don't think... No? What is that? Oh, that's another box. I think we can open those once we get, what's the key called? Treasure hunting game key. Packing tips. Alright, that was one of the things. A book by a well-known excerpt on how to carry large amounts of supplies increases inventory capacity. Okay, so we get up to 12. Nice. There was only one that I missed from the main game, and I think I literally saw everybody else find it but me. It's like, apparently I was just panicking and running. A boy's diary. I'm going to be a treasure hunter. I'll make sure of it. And then I'm going to become a millionaire by finding treasure all around the world. And not just hunting treasure. A real treasure hunter sometimes takes down big scary beasts and bad guys. And don't forget that they have to learn how to escape dangerous traps too. I was play fighting with the girl who lives next door when Mom got mad at me. She said, "What if you leave a scar on her face? Then nobody will marry her." Come on, really? What's that all about? I think that girl would be a really good treasure hunter, though. She always finds the hidden treasure when we play treasure hide and seek. I want to become a treasure hunter with her someday. Treasure hunting game key. A small iron key, unclear what it opens, should be related to the treasure hunt mentioned in the little boy's diary. I see, I can give it a try. I think I know who the boy in the park was. If you recall, I'm not sure if this is the same one, but they're not referring to this like it's somebody we know. If you recall, there was a boy that we ran into in the park. Let's see. Yeah, so if you go down to the bottom, there was a boy in the park that got bit by a fox, I think. And I do believe I know who that is at this point. That is really important. Because originally I was just kind of thinking maybe it was like how she met Shu or something, but it was not. So I think that matters. Okay, so do I just open up the boxes with this then? Treasure hunt game note. You found this place too, huh? You're getting hotter. You gotta use that noggin of yours. Let the thrill of the hunt keep your spirits high. I'm guessing that wasn't supposed to be the first one I find. Did I miss anything in here? Okay. Heard some tapping. I don't know if... How's that go from the crow? I heard a sound. I heard a sound of tapping of someone gently rapping at my chamber door or something like that. Any crow fans out there? The original. I have not seen the remake, and I don't know if I ever want to. But treasure hunt game note. I suppose I should give it a try, right? You're real good at this. Not any bozo could find this one. Too bad this isn't the treasure, but points for trying. You were so close. Ah, chocolate. Thank you. That's not a door over there, is it? I heard that apparently in like older Japanese homes, probably like this one, like these ones maybe. Sometimes you're not really sure if it, like what you're walking up to is like a door or a wall because they're all paper. I thought that was like really funny because I'm like I would be so nervous I was gonna break something. Okay, treasure hunt game note. Kaboom! You got blown to smithereens by my doo-doo bomb and oh my god. Anyone with half a brain would know this would be a trap. Well, yeah, it's out in the open, but I'm opening them all. I'm opening all of them. I don't care what it is. My doo-doo bomb. That's definitely a little boy, right? Let's see. Treasure hunt game note. Yeah, you got stabbed with my doo-doo spear and died. That would actually kill you, too. Anyone looking around here for treasure is no more than a fodder for my traps. Yeah. You don't want to get stabbed with doo-doo. Wasn't there one? Yeah. This would be a good one. That's it. Faded bride doll. An old doll in the shape of a bride made from clay. It seems to have been forgotten for a long time. Okay. This is the treasure. It would appear to be, as far as I can tell. So I don't think there's anything else in here for us. Okay, so now what we need to do apparently is offer the doll, the faded doll we just got, to the first Jizo statue. The only reason I even know what that is because of Sekiro. Because you'd get those bundled Jizo statues that would give you an extra resurrection point after losing one. What I'm looking for might not look what I'm looking for, if that makes sense. I also want to... Where is everyone? I also... What about Chizuruya? Yeah. Alright. It's said that the kanji for Ebisu and Ebisugaoka holds the meaning of a person who has migrated from far away. Really? I did not know that. The most fanciful theory for the origin of this town is that it was once a hidden village for Taira clan, soldiers who lost the Genpei War. In the town's old customs, there are a few rules that seem like a part of a secret village's code, including things like not owning dogs or washing things in the river, but whether or not it's the truth remains a mystery. I thought it just meant Silent Hill. I just looked for literal translations for the words because it's not a real word. At least according to what I looked up. I could be way off the mark. Maybe I went too far. Or is there a garden over here? What? No. It's... Oh, there you are. Yeah, that looks like what I was kind of expecting. Offered a faded bride doll. Okay. Sacred sword. Good. So I think I did something right. I found a damaged Jizo statue in the mountains. The character for Tsuchi, Earth. That sounds familiar, doesn't that? Can be faintly seen etched into the stone base. I wonder what'll happen if I offer something that relates to that character. While we're on the topic of offerings, I remembered that I offered my old doll once. My ears were met with the soothing chime of bells upon offering the item. This should do. Tsuchi. That sounds really familiar to me. Okay. So one other thing I wanted to mention as we're moving forward towards our meeting with our friends is that, oh yeah, the Inari statues, is that when I was looking through documents the other day, I was making my notes. I noticed that whenever I would go to the menu, it would start auto-scrolling on me, and I wasn't sure. I'm assuming it's controller drift, but because I haven't had any drift issues with this controller yet. Unfortunately, it happens. So if it starts randomly doing stuff, I might need to switch controllers. Trying to remember where that is. Oh, right here. I think this is where we run into Sakuko, right? After the gossipers.
本当に羨ましいわ。まさかあの子がね。それに妬ましいわね。どうしてあの子なのよ。ねえ。噂をすればな。
I think that dialogue is different. I have a feeling they're talking about me.
Sakuko, どこ行くの？こっち通るの珍しいね。
車が道を塞いでてさ。
千鶴屋？
今は誰かと喋りたくて。
私も後から行くね。
うん。じゃあね。
裏切り者。
It wasn't until I listened to the English version of this that I noticed how much of, I don't know if inflection's the right word, but how much that bit of dialogue when she first said traitor to when she last said it changed. And now I don't know if I'm really quite hearing it. Maybe it's a language difference. I'm not sure. It definitely sounded a lot more like sinister at the end in English, and it didn't sound quite as much so in Japanese, but I don't know. Maybe that's why they put the, like, effect on it. So, before we move too far ahead, one thing that was noted to me, and I've seen some clips to confirm it, is that really pay attention to the scenes, because some of them have already changed, but there are some cases too where I think the changes are rather subtle. Okay, so before we enter this area, there is a miscellaneous trophy for completing the first chase sequence. Actually, there's one for a couple of them, I think. But there's a trophy for completing the chase sequence without getting grabbed. So if for whatever reason I do get grabbed, I'm going to redo this until I get it right. Which is why I made the backup save. So let's just get into it and hope for the best. I don't think it should be too hard, but...
Yo, 相棒。
シュ。
あのさ、
うん。なんか言ってよ。
お前こそなんか言うことはないのかよ。
相棒にないんだったら私にだってない。
お前らしいや。
The pills.
受け身な生き方なんてお前らしくないぜ。お前が自分で選んだ道なら俺はいつまでも応援するからな。
I sure hope so.
シュウ。
シュウ君、お待たせ。ひなこもいたんだ。
リンコ。
何の話をしてたの？
いや、大した話は。
誰かとおしゃべりしたい気持ちだったんだって。
気が紛れたよ。
それはよかった。お役に立てて光栄の極み。会えると分かってたら借りてた雑誌持ってくればよかった。
ああ、貸したままでいいよ。リンコに貸した時点で戻ってくると思ってないし。
んだとこんちくしょう。笑いすぎだよ。サクコだってひなこから何か借りてるんじゃないの？
私なんかあったかな。ねえひなこ、じゃあ私が借りてる500円も返さなくていいよね。
サクコ利子つけて返すとか言ってなかった？
言ってないよ。証文あんなら出してみろ。
いいこと聞いた。これからはサクコに貸すとき消しゴムであっても証文書かせるから。
そんな意地悪言わないでよ。
ねえねえ、昨日のラジオ聞いた？
聞いた。でも途中で寝ちゃった。ひなこ。
あ、ごめん。何？
裏切りも。
てよかった。
Note from Shu. Hey partner. These painkillers should work best for you. They'll not only take care of your headaches, but also any pain from injuries. I suspect that the main cause behind your nasty headaches is from you unconsciously grinding your teeth when you're upset. Does that sound about right? If you ever need to talk or anything, just call my name, and I'll be there. Alright, so the pills, of course, if you look at the box, say antipyretics, and I explained at the end of the first playthrough how antipyretics are just a name essentially for a fever reducer, or as we more commonly refer to these as pain relievers, over-the-counter pain relievers. But there was a part at the end of the game where you could hear Shu apologizing to her, and I think that's because what he was actually giving her wasn't antipyretics, it's something else. So we'll find out more about that together, I guess, but I think that's what's going on there. I have returned with a nice frosty beverage. I need to get a bathroom break in there, and we are going to press on.
相棒の言う通りだな。
What did he say? Okay. Wait, where do we come from exactly?
早く手当てしなきゃ。
We're not taking the pills, girl. You can't make me. I need to search a little bit more thoroughly, I think, because, not that I was, like, rushing through town, but, I mean, we were dodging enemies. Okay, so what do we got? Does the chocolate work? Apparently not. What did the that I do? Okay. And the bandage is a higher heal, so... And the pills we're going to ignore, right? We don't want to do no pills.
ここどこ？急いでサクコのとこに戻らないと。
Man, Sakuko not gonna make it, girl. Unfortunately. Find a way back to Chizuruya. I don't remember if we go up or not. I know we need to get to that house. I think that's where up goes, but... Nope. No capsules. We ain't touching them. If I recall, we get to a house at some point in the beginning where we...
誰？シュウ？
No, that's not Shu. We get to a house, and I think there's a couple key items there, and I think I missed an Amamori there. So I want to make sure and pick that up. I know out in town, too, that's where I missed one of the inventory items, so I want to make sure we get that, but I think that's a little bit later.
シュウ？リンコ？
So apparently, if you have any Emma that you've missed, they should still be there, but if you've picked them up, you should find just like offerings, I guess, which is fine by me. Again, I kind of go back on the idea that when we kill a monster, we actually like killing a person. Because that's the way the ending sure made it feel. But, oh! Okay, I don't remember how to attack or anything. Isn't there supposed to be a cutscene for that? Oh, yeah. Now I remember. It says to avoid, and I'm just like, let's go take it out. I kind of want to. I kind of want to explore though. Even if I'm not supposed to. Like, what are you gonna do? Beat me up? You can try. Okay, capsules. Local doctor's notes. There are cases where patients see an improvement in their symptoms not by taking medicine, but rather by simply talking to a doctor. The cause of this phenomenon lies undeniably in the trust fostered between practitioner and patient. Conclusively, the pharmacists who have been trusted since ancient times perhaps could be said to contain a similar power to that of the local gods here. Even among the younger generations in this town, there are many who believe praying to Inari-san will soothe pain and speed up the healing process. You know, something to be said too about psychology when it comes to healing. Whether you believe in the paranormal, supernatural in this sense, you know, having a positive mental attitude can make a big difference in recovery. One's fortitude of faith is not to have direct relation to potency. There are even some town elders who claim to have had broken bones miraculously mended after praying to Oinari-san. I go on a limb and say that's probably not following the scientific method. Do you mind? Don't gecko me. One of these days I should do a full playthrough of the original on here just for the sake of doing it. I am still missing the platinum trophy on the HD collection. But it sounds like an awful mess to get. I have thought of playing 3 on here because I have that for the HD collection as well, and I haven't done anything on it. Again, just imagine walking to someone's home. Bandages, bandages. Gotta get them. No pills. We don't take kindly to pills around here. Can you open? Household tips for the good wife and wise mother. Yikes. A collection of loving ways for mothers to create the perfect home. They probably all kind of bow to your master type things. You know, when people talk about going into the past, like if you had the opportunity to pick a time and visit it, it's like, yeah, it's like, you know, it'd be interesting to see, but at the same time, I would never want to live in these times. I don't think I could handle it. Okay. So I don't remember exactly how it works, but I know one of our first enemies is supposed to pop up here. I may have panicked a bit in my original playthrough, but there's an item here that I missed. Nope. We don't need no capsules. What's that? Oh yeah, the key. Examine. That we do want. Bloody key. A key with unknown bloodstains. Not sure what it unlocks. I don't actually remember. But you know, we don't need to panic this time because we can just whack the enemy to death. Where'd you go? You gonna come out? Oh, gotcha. Give a big whack. Big whack. Okay, small whack. Okay, she's down. Stop the music, she's down. Oh, no, don't go out yet. What's that? Backdoor key. Okay. Alright, I think what we want to do is... I think I actually tried running out the back door. I think most people I've watched have tried. Because we're being chased at that point, and you realize the key you have is not the backdoor key. Except we just got the backdoor key. And apparently... there's an Amamori here somewhere. I think. Maybe not. We need to go down. Let's try it. Looks like a ladder. We should be able to go back up if I make a whoopsie. Whale. Yes. Okay. Amamori whale. When using a restorative item, you will not be interrupted by normal attacks.
Yes.
I agree. And I think that's the last thing we actually needed as far as collectibles go for this area. Some of the notes and stuff that you can collect, I guess they just don't matter. And while I would love to get all the notes in the game, I don't know if anybody's done a guide for that or not, so... I always say leave no stone unturned, but isn't there a way out up here? I think it's this way. Yeah, there we are. I said, there's a reason I came up here, right? So I remember when I was panicking the first time, I ran up here. And I missed out on the whale. Which made me think of the movie with Brendan Fraser, which is a really good movie, and you should check it if you haven't seen it. There is actually one other thing we have to do. I forget, there's one of those Inari-sama areas that we can get to, I think, is available after the first save point since the chase. You look like pills. We don't need no pills. We don't need no pills. Badgers? Badgers? Bandages, yes, okay. When I was editing my original series for this, I kept looking at like the boss battles. I'm like, why do I keep making those goofy faces? And I was like, apparently that's what I do when I'm swinging at things. And I was like, oh my god, it totally reminds me of my grandpa when like we used to go to hockey games. He would like sit right behind me and he would like kick the back of my chair constantly because he gets so into the game. And I was like, that's totally what I was doing. I bet that's where the first Emma was, eh? Okay, so it should be coming up. Let's see. Can we enshrine anything? Let's just get rid of everything. We don't need... Oh, no. The controller drift. Okay. I'm not changing to a new controller. You're going to have to deal with the drift just like I do. Can I get rid of the pills? Can I offer the pills? Cannot be used as offering. Can I get rid of the pills? We don't want to draw anything. I'll do a backup save here because I think we're okay. I can always replay the beginning if I really need to. If I really need to. I think we're okay so far. Okay, so if I go to equipment, that would probably be under... Oh, I do take the hand mirror off for starters. Okay, let's take these off just entirely for now. Can I discard? Yes, discard. We need that room. Collectibles. We already have those now. The brooch. Yep, that's what's going to give us access to the goodies. Why did I save when I'm doing this? Let's... we'll do the Amamori later. I'm fine right now. I do have the whale I could equip. It doesn't matter, does it? Let's go. Okay. So I think we have our, like I said, our first item for the fox coming up here. Okay, it did say to go down the stairs and that there should be a box. A shoebox. What a weird box. Oh,
開いた。
cool. Diary of Revenge. Ooh, spicy. According to the Nihon Shokai, one of Japan's most ancient history books, Yamada no Orochi, probably Orochi, a colossal 8-headed dragon, demanded the sacrifice of beautiful young girls for it to devour. Upon hearing this, the wild deity Suzanu no Mikoto brought 8 barrels of sake to the dragon and lured it into drinking them. 8 barrels of sake. We got this, all right? We can do 8 barrels. Once Yamada no Orochi had become intoxicated, he slew the dragon by chopping off the 8 heads. And according to Ebisugaoka's old historical records, after being decapitated, one of the Yamada no Orochi's heads flew far west and fell between the mountains of Higa no Kuni, I think. The head eventually came back to life as a poisonous water dragon that plagued the land for many years to come. Of course it did. That's always what happens when you cut heads off of animals that have multiple heads. Higa no Kuni is known as Ebisugaoka, is known now as Ebisugaoka. Interesting. There are records of toxic gas leaks from the underground water streams in the past. It is highly possible that this is where the legend of the poisonous water dragon stemmed from. However, while the local records state that Yamada no Orochi's head flew here, there's no mention of this in the Nihon Shoki. It's not hard to surmise that some shameless individual put a religious spin on the noxious leaks to turn a profit, and falsified connections using famous literature to solidify their claim. And we have an Emma, a wooden plaque. Place it back in a hokura. It's been a while since I played this, so bear with me. A hokura, after writing your wishes, used in hokura to upgrade Hinako's ability. So I was watching Gab play this, and she was saying how, I think these are the things where people, like she said, they could write, like it says, they can write wishes on them. And she said it might be like, something really minor, like I want to do well on my exams, or she said a lot of times touristy people will say things like world peace, but I thought that was kind of interesting that it was put that way. So, again, definitely check out her playthrough if you haven't. And I think that's it for this section. So our next things that I missed in New Game Plus things should come from the Dark Shrine. So, while we were in Fogtown, the only thing that we're missing at this point is the radio broadcast for the UFO ending, which I'm not doing until later. So, I just brought it up because it comes up around this area. Kitchen knife. I could use that. Oh, we actually have to probably kill something here, don't we? I don't have any way to fix my weapon. But I'm not supposed to have a weapon, right? That means they're going to give me one. Right? They better.
Rinko.
Oh, she just comes right down this time. Let's see, what do we got? We got the knife, and we got the... What we got here? Bandages, yes. I do love that music. One thing I didn't notice in my first playthrough, I guess I did notice it, but I wasn't really thinking about it, is the music from, of course, the Fogtown versus the Dark Shrine are extremely different. And then I didn't realize it, but someone had pointed it out that Akira did the music for Fogtown and somebody else did the Dark Shrine music. So they're literally different composers, which is really, really cool, if you ask me. So I think all we gotta do from here is get back to Chizuruya. Oh, it's fine, girl. Don't worry. We'll get there. What are you defending? What are you trying to keep me away from? A little box of goodies? Ramune. Oh yeah, okay. I was watching a playthrough and somebody actually drank that while they were playing, and I was like, must be nice to have a place that sells it. Because our place around here is not active anymore. Or she was commenting on the marble on it, and I was like, yeah, like I remember that. That's how they're sealed. There's actually like a marble in the lid.
Shu, どこにいる?
So the marble is what kind of seals the drink, and you have to pop it into the drink, and it stays in the bottle. It's kind of cool. I don't want no pills. We don't need no pills. Ooh, they sold that. I keep doing that, like I didn't use... Well, I can't use it anyway, I guess. I guess it don't matter, does it? Yeah.
Sakuko. この夢だったよね。堅苦しい神社じゃなくて駄菓子屋の娘に生まれたかったって。ここならいつでも好きなだけお菓子が食べられるよ。おやすみ咲子。帰りな。今日はもう閉店だよ。私やっぱり咲子との約束守りたいよ。
No, I had it. Nope, too close to the plants. Nope, too close to the plants again. Okay. Okay, I think that is going to be my closing out point for this first one. I was kind of debating about doing longer form playthroughs versus just breaking it up per section, kind of like I did last time. I usually like to have a hard save before I do things, but I can always do a backup save in case something goes wrong. 'Cause autosaves can be useful for that as well. But we've been going for a good while here, and I had a lot of stuff I had to cover, so I figured this first one might be longer either way. And if I find that the later episodes are coming up extremely short in a way that I don't want them to, or too long in a way I don't want them to, I gotta keep in mind that I can just edit those down, because some stuff might be a little bit redundant, and potentially I could edit them together if it's really Anyways, that's where we're going to close out this one. So I think we've done pretty good at getting everything that I've missed at this point, and that's going to be our objective as we move forward. So thank you all for joining, and I will see you all later.